Thomas playing Gruul Eldrazi. Rosum also, even with the win here, only an outside shot at top 8, not a guarantee. Justin Thomas with the win, though, I believe 100% in. It is possible that these matches will complete while we're bringing coverage to you, and they will announce our top 8. If that does happen, we're going to mute ourselves. We'll go quiet for a little bit. After this match completes, we'll give you the rundown of exactly who will comprise our top 8. Let's talk a little bit about the decks on display here. Teamer Urza, nobody wants to talk about that. Seen enough of it. What I want to talk about, Craig, Gruul Eldrazi. When was the last time you saw this deck?
It's not super common. It kind of makes sense to me if you're fighting a field of Okos. You know, having some things like the Thought-Knot Seer comes down, strips a key card out of the opponent's hand, and then if it has to be turned to an Elk, you know, it's still an effective attacker blocker. It no longer draws the opponent a card when it dies.
I'm not sure about that. Here's the problem. Like, think about the cards like the Oblivion Ring effects, like things like the Detention Sphere type effects. I'm blanking on them. Deputy of Detention.
No, so I think this is a completely separate line of text.
Okay.
On the Thought-Knot Seer.
Okay. You think you just get protection from giving your opponent a card? Okay. I could see what you're saying. I could see it working that way.
And also, Reality Smasher having haste and being very large is good. We've talked several different times about how important it is to have creatures that make an impact the turn they come down on the board.
Right. Yeah, Reality Smasher certainly checks that box. What I find interesting is the red-green styling of Eldrazi. You can do all this stuff in Eldrazi Tron, which we see quite often here on the SCG Tour. Gruul Eldrazi, not something we see. And you see one of the big ads, Bone Crusher Giant, picking off an Emery very nicely. Interesting one. Also have Eldrazi Obligator in the deck for red cards. Magmatic Sinkhole. Once upon a time. Ancient Stirrings.
Yeah, I think that's what you're doing here is you're saying, hey, I need the Lightning Bolt and the other side of Bone Crusher Giant. Help me with that one.
I don't even know what the other side is called, Craig. I just call it Bone Crusher Giant every time.
Yeah, that's funny.
Stomp.
Stomp.
Stomp is what it's
Makes
called.
sense. You know, you're saying I need quick, efficient removal, and I get those, and then I need the consistency. And so getting Once Upon a Time and Ancient Stirrings is just very important for this deck.
Yeah, certainly adding to the consistency. Gruul Eldrazi, a low APT deck for sure. And you see that reflected on the battlefield right now as Rosum accumulates permanents very quickly. And just these two beaters on Justin Thomas's side has not really made any inroads towards Jonathan Rosum's life total thus far. And that bodes poorly for this Gruul Eldrazi player. This Galvanic Blast, that's going to go ahead and eat Thought-Knot Seer. Urza starting to hum a little bit. How about Bone Crusher Giant coming back? Okay. It's fine.
It's not fine. This is not fine.
Yeah, it seems like a 4-3 attacker should do something. I mean, Matter Reshaper we know isn't going to do anything. That card's never done anything in its history, but...
You hate a Matter Reshaper.
I don't hate it as much as I pretend to, honestly, but it has become a bit of a meme at this point. I don't know why so much of this deck is off of our screen presently. I didn't really need to see the top edge of this playmat. I would have loved to see that Oko down at the bottom, but this is time shifted.
Wow, and you're just taking shots at our coverage crew's job as well.
I just like seeing Magic cards.
You are...
coverage has gotten in my ear and saying it is the player's fault for knocking the playmat
Everyone's
off.
just shifting blame around.
Everyone get ready to get thrown under the bus.
We're late in the day.
It's the end of the day. I'm cranky.
Yeah, Brian's getting...
And I'm blaming you all.
Particularly ornery over there. Maybe his blood sugar's a little low.
I did only have a healthy plate today.
Oh, that's too bad.
From the convention center. And first of all, not even that healthy.
The non-healthy plate?
Yeah, like hummus and pita is not super healthy. Like a lot of carbs, a good amount of fat in it. It was tasty. It could be called a tasty plate. Healthy plate, though, I feel might be a bridge too far. Rosum going to make some blocks here. The Elked Engineered Explosive is going to trade with a Bone Crusher Giant. Matter Reshaper continuing to be effective, but possibly a little bit of a gain here as a Stomp is going to come down and finish an Urza that made a block. Nope, it's not. How about a Cryptic Command instead?
Yeah, I can't imagine with Rosum being at so much life.
Worth risking that block.
Yeah, he would mix Urza up in combat without having a way of protecting it.
Yeah, good point, Craig. Well, we're going to continue to use the incredible mana generated by Urza to go ahead and do a spin, and we hit Emery. That's a good one.
They're all good ones at this point, right? Like just making all your land drops, the Goose making an extra food every turn. It's just more and more resources that get turned into more and more resources.
The engine is now humming, for sure. Oko's making food, Goose is making food.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that Oko was on the board down there.
Yeah, it's kind of tucked away. I don't blame you. It's like we have another spin queued up. That one's going to miss. But Mystic Sanctuary going to come, put Cryptic Command back on top of the deck. I have no idea why Urza's doing so well in this tournament.
Like I said, this is the Harlem Globetrotter-esque stuff that this deck does once it takes control of the game.
I would whistle the theme, but I feel like I'm going to mess it up somehow. My mouth is a little dry. So
yeah, we don't need that.
Just going to let that one slide. Here's Karn, the Great Creator. Seems like a card that should do more. But the mana ability is contained on Urza.
Yep, it's so funny that, yeah, it's still not close to doing anything.
Could kind of limit Emery's impact on this game.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, Rosum is so far ahead. He just has so many resources. There's still that Oko. You know, I just can't see this Karn ever staying on the board.
Right. The good news is that this game is sure to go on for another 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's the Cryptic Command on top. Like, what are we doing here?
Here's Engineered Explosives on 0.
Yeah, that's an elk.
The level of certainty and defeatedness you said that with just does a great job encapsulating the current state of this Urza deck. No, it's not even an elk. It's just a dead Karn. Now we can use the food if we want to. Maybe it is still an elk. Who knows? Minus. Food for your matter reshaper?
Oh, yeah. The Urza, when you spin, you don't even have to play the card right away.
It's just there for the whole turn.
I believe that's correct. There's too much text on these cards.
Metallic Rebuke. Gonna be the exile. Looks like we got an Urza attack in.
That's an elk.
Yep, there you go. Craig's favorite play. And the turn heads back to Justin Thomas, who prays for a way out of this mess. As we all do. All praying for a way out of this mess.
I mean, Rosum has literally 19 to 20 permanents on the board. He's at 20 life.
But he just got Eldrazi obligatored, so I'm sure things are going wrong now.
Yeah, this is swinging the tide.
Cryptic Command, tap your team.
Return
the Matter Reshaper.
No, return Mystic Sanctuary.
Return Mystic Sanctuary as well, sure.
So that I can just lock you under this Cryptic Command against a deck that only plays one spell a turn.
Mm-hmm. Your APT's too low, Justin Thomas. And now the attacks start coming from Jonathan Rosum.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Justin's had a great run this event, and I'm not trying to rag on his deck choice here.
Rosum flashes that Cryptic Command, and that's going to get the scoop from Justin Thomas. Rosum now up a game.
Yeah, end up in these situations where the Urza decks just seem to have so much inevitability. They just take over the game. They loop a Cryptic Command. They can't lose.
You know, we keep doing this, Craig. We keep seeing Urza versus weird fringe deck, and we keep saying there's got to be a way forward for this deck. They're not to this point for no reason. I have faith in their ability to pull out this matchup, and then they lose to Urza. I saw Devotion lose to Urza. I saw, is it Deceiver Exarch lose to Urza? Oh, we have a top 8 announcement. I'm going to go ahead and mute. Hold on 1 second, folks.
I am not going to mute. All right, I'll mute.
Top 8 has been announced. We missed nothing but shuffling. A beautifully timed top 8 announcement by our staff here. We will let you know all about who is going to comprise that top 8 as soon as we finish this battle here. Justin Thomas and Jonathan Rosum. Don't quite know if we're dealing with mulligans here or we're just thorough shufflers. Taking a look at this Gruul Eldrazi sideboard, as would it be expected from a Karn deck, not a lot of sideboard space. There is a choke. Could see that being big game against Urza.
Yeah, choke is one of those cards that we see pop up from time to time. It has the potential to just catch people off guard and really punk out players playing a lot of islands in their deck.
So Justin Thomas going to be on the play this go around, it looks like. Ancient Stirrings finds Thought Not Seer. Now I want you folks to remember, you do get to still vote on that quarterfinals match. Surf and Turf Connection coming back to bring that one to you. Cue up a good one for him. Make it exciting on their end. Speaking of exciting, how's this for turn 1, Craig?
6 permanents.
6 permanents on the battlefield
turn 1.
Turn 1.
But that's okay because it takes all the cards out of your hand, right?
Right. Everything's fine.
No, Rosum still has 5, 6 cards in his hand.
Here's Matter Reshaper. Ready to get up to, I don't know, Matter Reshaper stuff. Emery comes on down. Only 1 land for Jonathan Rosum. Okay, we found a weak point.
Well, I think he had the option to play an Oko there.
Went with Emery instead.
Well, he didn't want to sacrifice his food to the goose because it turns off his Opal moving forward.
Okay.
You know, if something terrible should happen, I guess he would have another food from the Oko potentially.
So Justin Thomas attempted a Thought Not Seer. Rosum was at the ready with Ceremonious Rejection.
It's funny because that's a card that I see still floating around as 1-ofs and 2-ofs in a lot of sideboards. And I'm like, why is this card still a thing? And then bang, right there.
Just saw why, Craig. Justin Thomas with a really nice start here gets a Reality Smasher onto the battlefield now. Once Upon a Time going to be cast. Turns out these double Eldrazi Temple draws pretty good. Once Upon a Time finds a second Reality Smasher. That's going to be deployed.
Yeah,
and
this is a start.
Beats keep coming. This is why you sign up for Eldrazi. Mox Opal going to be returned for Rosum. Feels like we're about to see Urza here.
Yeah, I would expect this is an Urza.
It's not enough, though. Yeah,
yeah, he's saying, all right. Yeah, even Urza.
So we are headed to a deciding Game 3. Players checking sideboards again. Looks like Rosum wants to make a little swap here.
Monitoring the players at this time, standings are final. If you're 9th through 32nd, please form a line in front of the monitor over the scorekeeper to receive your clear to commands. You will need to have a photo ID out and ready.
Rosum waffling a little bit on exactly how he wants to play this final and deciding game. You understand why? High stakes. Hoping to secure one of those top 8 berths.
Yeah, and it looks like Justin Thomas has left the table, meaning Rosum is not in any sort of hurry to get this sideboarding done.
Sure. Take all the time given to you. Why not? Justin also had enough of the Urza deck. Says, I'm out.
You're calling him surf and turf. You think Todd's doing a lot of water sports now that he's moved out to the West Coast?
I would assume so.
Yeah, just on a surfboard every day.
Yeah, it seems like he would be a beach bum. I would be if I lived in California. Instead, I've just been in Seattle where it's rained for 50 days straight. Finally, I have been punished by the weather in Seattle. It has been horrible.
You're the biggest denier.
I am not a denier.
Of
the weather
Seattle
has
rain.
been fantastic the entire time I lived there. It has not been over the past 2 months or so.
For literally 2 years, you're like, it does not rain.
It didn't. It didn't rain for 2 years. Somehow now it just rains all the time. Here's a pretty nice start from Jonathan Rosum. How about turn 2 Urza? You like that one, Craig?
Pretty nice. Oh, how absurd.
Decent. Justin Thomas says, oh yeah? Noble Hierarch. What now? I would assume the hits are soon to start coming from Justin Thomas, but look at the battlefield he is facing on turn 3 with his sad, sad Noble Hierarch. Reality Smasher seems great.
Well, it is 6 power.
Seems great. Yeah, and Goose is going to hop in front to protect Oko. That means that it will now be elked for sure. Follow up Blood Moon.
Oh, man, that's good.
Blood Moon from Rosum. Hope you can find that waste if you want to cast any more Eldrazi this game. I guess you could cast like Eldrazi Obligator. Does that have colorless in its cost?
Correct. No, it's
ability.
It's red in the cost, colorless in the ability.
Correct. Well, enjoy that one.
Enjoy that one.
3-1 haste is sure to look real good against Urza. Elk continues to feel froggy. Gonna make an attack. Gonna meet a Galvanic Blast, though, removed from the battlefield. Rosum sniffing out some additional burn in Thomas's hand. That burn is gonna get pointed towards Oko. That is answered. But Urza can start spinning. You think you're out of gas. Then this happens. Another Urza, sure. Gonna attack with that Urza first. So I believe your instinct was right, Craig. You cast it at any time.
Yep.
There's second Urza. Gonna bring a second Matthias with it. And the turn passes back to Justin Thomas. Still cut off the colorless mana. Looks like Karn, Thought Not Seer, blank in hand. Gonna deploy Karn. Rosum going to take the opportunity to bobble. Karn sticks. Looks like we're going to minus.
Yeah, I would have said Engineered Explosives will clean up this board.
Engineered Explosives on 0. Looks nice. Strong play there from Justin Thomas.
Yeah, that actually got a lot of permanence.
Maybe back into this game. I think that was a big, big swing. Urza going to go after that Karn. Ether Spellbomb, Emery.
These are some good draw stops for Rosum. Wow.
I agree. That Blood Moon, I mean, this game's over if it's not there. Doing a lot of work. What's Karn going to get up to on this turn? Karn certainly has a place in this format. Such a strong, strong Magic card. It just gets overshadowed by other things going on right now. I think it's a fun Magic card, too.
Karn is.
Yeah. I think it leads to a lot of interesting decisions. Now, granted, the mode where it just ends the game is combo-ish. But at least you know the game's over at that point. It's not like where the game's over because you played turn 2 Urza and you have to play it for 13 more turns. If your opponent got Microsoft Lettuce, you can just go ahead and scoop it up. It's like Karn wants to minus some more.
He has 6 mana. Does he have Wormcoil in his deck?
Nobody's got a big Ballista. Ballista on 3.
Oh.
Ceremonious rejection.
Wow.
Got him. Here's Arkham's Astrolabe. Here's Emery. There is an Urza attack.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't spin Urza there.
Me too. That might say something about what's in his hand.
Yep.
Able to go grab a Karn. Tap 4.
Yep.
Metallic Rebuke, as we would expect.
Why wouldn't it just be a chain of counter spells off of the top of the deck?
That's fine. Emery continues to do its thing. Urza spin. Gilded Goose. Okay, we'll take it. Urza beatdowns. Slow and steady. Will eventually win the race, I bet. Once upon a time.
Emery is just a 1-mana, one-sided Howling Mine.
Yep.
With more upside.
Yep. Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Mountains. Not accomplishing much. More bobbling. More Urza beatdowns. Time for another spin.
Oh.
Bouncers, redeployers, get a fresh Matthias token. Emery gets a rebuy. Sanctuary is deployed. Don't think that one's live right now.
It's a mountain.
That's a mountain, thank you. And that is going to get a handshake, and that means